So, my name is Wendy Oxley, and I was instructed by your solicitor to represent you in court today. Um, in order to ensure that we're on the same page, is it okay if I ask you a few questions about what happened tonight of the incident?
Sure.
And once we ensure that we're on the same page, then I'll go ahead and offer you some advice. Is that okay?
That sounds all right.
Can you just confirm for me the date of the incident?
Saturday the 17th of December, that's control.
Right. And can you just confirm to me again, sorry, that your name is Wing Myung, is that correct?
Yeah.
And you're how old?
I'm 28 years old. Yeah.
Do you know how tall you are by any chance?
No.
5'8", 5'9", 5'10"?
Could be. No, measured myself, sorry.
Can you tell me what you were wearing that night?
I remember I was wearing torn blue jeans, black leather jacket, I think, a white t-shirt that had the Gladbury Football Club symbol and the slogan Gladbury Forever on it. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that you were at a football game earlier in the day, is that correct?
Yeah. Gladbury was playing Deansbury, actually.
And can you tell me what happened after the game?
My mates and I went drinking. We were lost, so we just went to Flying Flag Public House on Duke Street.
Right. And do you know how long you were there? Like more or less, what time you got there, what time you left?
Can't really say what time I got there, what time we got there, but we left around 10:55, between 10:55 and 11:05, yeah.
And were you alone or with friends?
I was with friends, my friends Mike and Rob.
Do you happen to know the last name of Mike and Rob? By any chance?
No, is it necessary?
No. If you have the information, it would be helpful, but that's okay.
Thank you.
Do you remember what they were wearing that night?
I had lots of drinks, so no, I can't say what they were wearing.
Is Rob or Mike very tall, short?
Mine is kind of short, you'd say, but
Mike is
yeah,
kind of short.
not his face, yeah.
Was he wearing?
I think the only thing I probably remember was a scarf around his head or something of the sort, yeah.
Can you, so around 11 o'clock, 5 minutes to 11, when you said you left the pub, can you tell me what happened?
We had my game to Jester's, the night's pub, so we left the pub to take a cab, and the Deansbury lot followed us out, and there was a lot of banter shared, you could say, between the two groups, yeah. And we walked towards the taxi rank, which was only about 150 yards away from the club. From the pub.
And what were the street conditions like that night? Was it dark, light? Did they have street lighting? Do you remember?
I can't say for sure, but it's not that long a walk, so even if it was dark, you know.
The gentlemen who were following behind you, all the Deansbury supporters, did you know them?
No, not by name, just that they were under
Have you seen them before?
No.
Just from the club?
Yeah.
Inside.
Maybe at the match, I might have passed them at the match, I don't know.
Once you got to the cab ramp, can you tell me what happened there?
We continued to share a bit of banter. I heard one or two of the guys from Deansbury talking about taking the first cab that came, which I thought was absolute nonsense considering we got there first. Well, we were ahead of them anyway. And obviously Mike and Rob thought it was nonsense as well, because one of them said something along the lines of, "You bet you are." Yeah.
And how did the altercation start?
Well, we thought them saying that they were going to take the first cab was a joke, But then when one of them tried to push up past us, that's how it started. Not with me, though, I have to say, not with me. But the guy tried to push past Mike. Mike was standing between Rob and myself. And yeah, Mike took exception to that.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, I didn't really think it would escalate the way that it did, so I wasn't quite worried at this point. It was just a bit of pushing and shoving.
And did it escalate?
It did, because the Deansbury guys jumped in.
Where were these Deansbury guys? They
They
were the same four chaps that were walking behind you all on the street, or?
Yeah, but they've been standing by the bus stop this whole time. Yeah.
So what happened after the altercation started? Did you do anything?
Well, I might have grabbed one or two of them, thrown a few bottles, I think, but not at anybody, just around, but where I knew they wouldn't hit anyone. Grabbed one person, had a bit of a tussle with him. Yeah.
And the guy that you had a tussle with, what did you do to him? How?
Well,
When you say a tussle, what exactly happened?
there was a bit of pushing. He pushed me, I pushed him back. He tried to grab my shoulders for quite a bit. I punched him on the left temple, I think it was. It was a hard punch, obviously, and he fell over, and I think I might have kicked him. Yeah, I might have kicked him.
At the cover-up where you were waiting for the cab, what was the lighting like? Was it bright? Was it dark? Was it what were the weather conditions like, you know?
To be honest, it's been quite a while. I can't say for sure. The event is a little bit clear in my mind, but I can't say for sure. It's probably lit, you know.
Probably well lit, huh?
Yeah, like your radio station.
The offense that you have been charged with is an offense called affray, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. You know what that is?
I've heard of it.
The offense of affray means that you have used or threatened unlawful violence towards another person, and that with your actions or the way you have conducted yourself, you have created fear in someone else, not necessarily the victim, but bystanders, basically.
I mean, are they going to be charged the same? Because what I did to them was what they were doing to us, you know. So is that not relevant to my case?
There were some bystanders, which I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you about before, but did you notice that there were some people at the bus station across the street from where you all were?
I think they were Deansbury supporters. I think so. I remember them being at the bus station, but can't really say which one.
There were a couple of people at the bus station across the street from the cab ramp who provided witness statements, which is the reason I was asking about the lighting, just to see how, you know, how confident you could be of what they saw, basically. But a couple of the witnesses that were across the street at the bus stop while this altercation was happening at the cab ramp, they indicated that they were afraid that the bottles being thrown on the whole Millie itself made them afraid.
They won't be going at anyone though.
Yes,
Yeah.
but just that was what they had in their witness statement. And that they feared for their personal safety. As a result, the prosecution's case is pretty strong. We have these witness statements although they didn't identified clothing that you were wearing, that you described that you were wearing, and they did an identification parade, and two witnesses identified you, picked you out in the lineup, which makes the prosecution's case very strong. There are several eyewitness accounts describing you at the scene, including your clothing, and they described your physical characteristics, how tall you are, and one of the witnesses who identified you was actually the victim himself, who had the altercation with. because this is a crime of rape, the possible punishment for this offense is, if it's tried, an indictment would be a level 3 with a maximum of 3 years or a fine or both. Or if it's tried summarily, it would be imprisonment with a maximum of 6 months or a level fine or both. And I'll explain this to you. And I'm really sorry that I didn't explain it earlier, but this is what is called, the crime of affray is what is called an either way offense. It can either be tried in the magistrate's court or in the crown court. And if you're tried in the magistrate's court, the sentence, if you're found guilty, would normally be more lenient than if you were tried in the crown court. However, in the magistrate's court, you would present your case to the magistrate himself, who would be the judge of fact and the judge of law. He would judge the facts to see if they're reliable or not, and he would also be the judge of the law. If you elect to go to the crown court, which the magistrate, since it's an indictable offense, they may give you the option to choose whether you'd like to go to the crown court. The penalty in the crown court is a little harsher, but you would present your case to a judge and a jury, and the jury would be considered the judges of the fact, and the judge himself would be considered the judge of the law. I'm not sure what plea you would like to make in regard to this offense.
Well, I don't deny it.
Yeah, so it would be guilty. So this is what I would suggest, because you're planning to plead guilty, that you take the first opportunity to plead guilty, which would be when we go to the courtroom today. And whatever sentence is meted out by the judge, it will be reduced by 1/3 just from the mere fact of you saving the court costs and time. They are grateful for that, and they give you a reward basically for saving the court's resources. In regards to the sentence, as I mentioned before, the possible punishment could be anywhere from a fine to, which is on summary, is if it's tried in the magistrate's court. The maximum time there would be 6 months, since I'm not sure what your instructions are. We'll take them shortly after I'm done giving you advice. But if you should choose to go to the magistrate's court today and plead guilty, the maximum would be 6 months imprisonment, because that's the maximum penalty that can be issued by the magistrate's court, basically.
Is there a minimum?
There is the minimum is a fine.
Okay.
But in regards, I have looked over the facts of this case, and I have checked the sentencing guidelines, and I have narrowed down what the possible sentence would be for this incident I have to tell you, it would probably be somewhere around 12 weeks in custody. And the reason for this is because you are throwing objects around, and even though you were not throwing them at anyone in particular, the conduct itself caused a serious risk of injury to other people, and it made other people fearful. So at this point, I would like you to just think about everything that I just said, and let me know what plea you would like to.
I mean, is it possible for me to make a guilty plea and at the same time, because I have been drinking a lot, so is that not worth mentioning, that I was drinking a lot?
You can say that, but it would not be a defense in this case. It would not be a mitigating circumstance. It would not reduce the sentence because of that. But what we can do, some of the mitigating circumstances, is what we can do when we go in there if you plead guilty, is to let the judge know of some mitigating circumstances that would allow the judge to look more favorably upon your case, and one of them is that you have no previous convictions. And I'd just like to confirm that.
Well, no, I do have two actually.
Oh, you do have to convict.
Yeah. There was a fight in 2012 with some annoying guy who claimed he was seeing my girlfriend apparently. I pleaded guilty that it was common assault, I think I said it was. And I received a fine of £50.
Thanks, we can stop there.